Lexus dealership. I'm talking about the Audi dealership. I'm talking about the Mercedes dealership. I'm talking about the BMW dealership. Where you see those dealerships, there is money. You have all sorts of dealerships on 76th Street. And then JD Byrider came in. When JD Byrider comes into your neighborhood to sell cars, get out quickly. Y'all remember JD Byrider? Hi, do you want a car but don't have literally any money? Bring in your pay stubs and we'll do your income taxes for you. We'll take your tax money and you'll leave with a car. Do y'all remember when they used to do that? Pure robbery for poor people that needed transportation. Most significant economic development on the Northwest side now because of the low-income condo experiment, which destroyed economic development on the north side. It killed Northridge. Northridge was an anchor. Where you had that shopping mall, you would have thousands of consumers from all over the place that will come to Northridge. You're moving more and more African Americans in from the central city, scaring away those consumers. Crime, of course, was escalating. Jesse Anderson murdering his wife and then saying a black kid did it. Nobody batted an eye. Like, oh yeah, it's typical. We expect something like that to happen. Biggest economic development they have on the Northwest side right now is a youth prison. An $80 million development on 6 acres is going to cost us more money than we will get.
Allstate.com or call for a
Hey,
32 units for the
truth.
How this is one Thomas. My go-to for The Truth with Sheriff Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth. The Truth app and 1017thetruth.com. Come in with straight truth.
I'm not saying cut the person off and don't give them any money at all. I'm saying it has to be earned. It's just dropping loot and giving it to people is weird to me. Because that's why, in many cases, we're in the predicament we are. That's why usually 5 years after people money,
I heard
money from a death in the family, they're broke. And all I can say, there's a reason for that.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon.
Change my mind, I wanna take it on the other side.
Situation.
Are you an older adult or an adult with disability who makes too much for medical benefits? Well, good news. Qualify for $7,200 to help pay for short-term or continuous in-home services through the new Milwaukee County Independent Pilot Program. If you qualify, you can help pay for specialized medical equipment, modifications, personal care, and other services that improve your quality of life. Do yourself a favor and don't leave this opportunity on the table. You deserve to live life to the fullest. Find out if you qualify right away by visiting county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Again, that's county.milwaukee.gov/ILSP. Or call 414-289-6874. Again, that's 414-289-6874. Milwaukee County Independent Living Supports Pilot Program. Live your life to the fullest.
Excited to kids basketball without sign up for Milwaukee Bucks. Presented by
So I'm a rep around Clark. Here's something brand new from Bishop Brandon Jacobs.
Student Garage.
church by choice or by force. That's an interesting one, Creation. So the black church has played a vital and pivotal role in African American society. I would argue now it is less pivotal and this is what's really interesting about it, with fewer black women going to church. Younger black women, their church rates, attendance rates, they're low. Don't know what they are. They're low. They're certainly lower than their grandmothers. And if black women are going to church less, so are their children. And if you have a generation of children that didn't grow up in the church because their mothers weren't going, then the church becomes less of a dominant force. But let's not be under any illusion of why the black church, let's just say it was so pivotal during the civil rights movement. Perfect example. Martin Luther King was a reverend, was a preacher. That makes all the sense in the world. A lot of the organizing for civil rights marches and protests and sit-ins took place in the church. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, all of them were attached to churches. If there was a civil rights meeting where leaders would gather in a particular city where there is particular racial animus, they would meet at the church. They call the pastor of the local church in Selma, Birmingham, Memphis, Jackson. Hey, we want to bring some people from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference down. We want to bring some students from the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee down. Can we come to you? Absolutely, you can come to our church. Why the church, though, when you think about it? And the church became the centerpiece, right, the focus of the civil rights movement. Because during Jim Crow, black folks couldn't go anywhere else. We couldn't rent a room at the town hall library. They wouldn't let us. The only place where we could go, and I shouldn't even say safely, because the church was bombed in Alabama in I should know the year. 64? Or the 4 girls were killed? 61. In the early 60s. The churches were black people. They didn't really mess with us. We could not meet nor organize, especially civil rights protests and marches and sit-ins in other public places, because Jim Crow laws kept us out of those locales. So what we do is we romanticize the black church like, oh, the church was strong. And I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it was the only place.
Rock 101.1
of the civil rights.
a great week. These guys, of course, going to be out on the road on their Hackney Diamonds tour this summer. Make sure you dates. It's the Stones.
Very real and very alive in Chicago at the exact same time it was very real and very alive in Milwaukee. So Dr. King, on the advice and counsel of his very good friend Mahalia Jackson, comes to a black church in Chicago, and Mahalia sings. Like, Dr. King asks her to like start the meeting. There's 500 people in this church, huge church, family church, big old church. The video, that's not the video. Dr. King in Chicago with Mahalia Jackson.